Hello everybody, this is Alessius here, and I'm not doing a Shogun 2 Tokugawa campaign video this time. It was to the relief and to the distress of others. But now I'm gonna talk to you a little about Rome 2 Total War. It's an upcoming game of the Total War series, and it's scheduled to come sometime around 2013. There hasn't been a date set yet, and there hasn't been there hasn't been a lot of released info or gameplay videos. A little, but not much. But anyway, so some of you might have guessed, I'm here to talk about factions. There there are a lot of factions in the game, but so far it seems that there are only 8 playable factions. There's Rome, there's Carthage, there's Macedon, and then there are the barbarian tribes of Iceni, Arverni, Suebi, and Parthia, and the kingdom of Parthia and Egypt in the Middle East. So this video will be short, hopefully, and it'll give you a little insight on what to expect from each faction. So, let's get started. Rome. This faction is the one that gives the name to the whole game. It's Rome 2. Because, well, Rome is an empire of unpreceded lasting. And it was very mighty. It was perhaps one of the single most important things during the antiquity. Well, certainly one of the single most important things in antiquity. But all empires have an end, and Rome 2 starts after the Pyrrhic Wars, after the time that Rome has control of most of the Italian peninsula, having beaten off the Greeks, and they have been expanding. The Republic has been expanding, and now they hunger for more. So basically, I'm just gonna give you a brief overview of what each faction has in gameplay. It says here that the strength of the Roman army lies in organization, discipline, and strict tactical doctrine. Well-drilled, well-equipped heavy infantry form the backbone of the army. The young, lightly armored Testala man the front lines. Behind them stand the skilled, chainmail-clad Principes, and the oldest and most experienced warriors, the bronze-armored Triolari, hold the rear. These monolithic formations are supported by the Roman cavalry, or equites. As a playable faction, Rome benefits economically from its excellence in metalwork, enjoys enhanced military development, and can exploit the masses in order to maintain public order. Furthermore, the player will choose to conduct the affairs of Rome as the head of one of 3 great Roman houses, the Julia, the Cornelia, and the Genoa, each of which brings further economic, military, and cultural benefits. So, military-wise, well-drilled, well-equipped heavy infantry form the backbone of the army, which is a fact that I very much like. Rome is my second favorite faction so far announced in the game, and well, it's because A, they're militaristic, and B, their military style is infantry based, and they have heavy infantry, which is something I have a huge boner for. So, heavy infantry is sort of my thing. Then, up next of the factions is Carthage. And Carthage has helped the Roman Empire in defeating the Greeks on the Italian peninsula, and they gained a foothold in Sicily for that. And they also start with a lot of provinces in the beginning of the game, and they're already an empire by this point. Here's what it says about the gameplay. Carthage is an expansionist trading state with a small indigenous population. As such, the bulk of its armies consist of mercenary units. The core of its land forces, however, are elite Carthaginian citizens known as the Sacred Band and the mighty war elephants from the forests of North Africa. Accomplished seamen, their ships are fast and maneuverable with good ramming and missile capabilities. So, and as a playable faction, Carthage benefits from its mastery of the waves and its heritage as a great trading nation. As a democracy, it also enjoys an improved level of population happiness. The player also has the choice to play as one of three major political powers, each of which confers further military, economic, and cultural benefits. So, like Rome, Carthage is basically divided into three sub-factions, so to speak, or probably not sub-factions, or they're just one faction, and you choose which way to specialize in. Maybe it's political, economical, and military, or some other distinction between the three different options available to the player. But I don't like what I see here. Well, it's not like I know what's gonna be in the game, but described here, bulk of its armies consist of mercenary units. As cool as mercenaries are, I don't like them that much. I find professional armies to be more endearing to me than some bandits that I paid to do a job that could probably be done by a more disciplined military. So, and war elephants, they're huge, but they're also very cumbersome, and I don't really see them as that desirable of a trade. So Carthage as a faction is probably one of my least favorite ones. Then there is Macedon. Macedon is an administration, with the king holding power and governing in the name of the people. This distinction extends to the treasury, fueled by an economy of agriculture, forestry, and the taxation of ports, the exception being the gold and silver mines granted to the king. So, this is the time after Alexander the Great's empire. The Macedonian people want to reclaim those former glories, because their empire pretty quickly splintered after Alexander's death at the age of 32, I think. So, but here's what is important for battles. Macedon's armies remain set on the pattern developed by Philip II and Alexander, focusing primarily on infantry and cavalry, and led by heroic commanders. Little has changed in terms of tactics, technology, and siegecraft since the glory days, with the continuations of Alexander's hoplite reforms and reliance on the famed Campanian and Thessalian cavalry. Never a strong naval power, Macedon has long relied upon its seafaring Hellenistic subjects such as Athens and Rhodes. That's what I like to hear. They are infantry focused. They are led by heroic commanders. The hoplites are excellent defensive troops, or should at least be excellent defensive troops. And they don't rely that much in the navy. Those are factors that I really like, which makes Macedon my favorite faction as far as I know, in reading this. So yeah, I like Macedon the best as the factions, but I'll still let you guys decide what I should play first. Then there's the Iceni faction. Um, the Asceni principally make use of infantry when at war. Equipped with large oval or subrectangular shields and either a sword or spear, their main distinction from the Celtic tribes of the continent is the practice of painting or tattooing their skin, combined with the greater use of slings in battle. Although light cavalry are used, the Ascenian and the other British tribes are famed for their highly maneuverable war chariots. After harrying the enemy with javelins, warriors dismount and engage in fashion similar to the Homeric champions. I don't really like the sound of that. As I said earlier, I have a boner for heavy infantry. Disciplined when well ordered infantry. It says here, equipped with large oval or subrectangular shields, and either a sword or spear. And they make use of infantry. Sure, they make use of infantry, but practice of painting or tattooing their skin and using slings. I don't really like barbarians that much anyway, so I'm a really one of those civilized and very by the book type of person. So I prefer Macedon and Rome to the Asceni. And war chariots, I find cavalry. I find cavalry more attractive than war chariots. So yeah, here's and the disparity that they don't look unified, which is also a negative for them. And